All right, let's just get right into it. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are going to demystify a system that is an absolute lifeline for so many people, navigating the free civil legal aid network in New Jersey. If you're looking to understand exactly how this vital public infrastructure works, from the foundational rules to the practical steps, you are in exactly the right place.
Are you struggling with a legal issue and you just don't know where to turn? Well, today, we're going to discover exactly how you can access free legal aid in New Jersey. And honestly, this could potentially save you thousands in legal fees. We are going to completely break down the barrier between you and the legal protection you might not even know you're entitled to.
Here is the roadmap for this explainer. We're going to cover 1. An intro to New Jersey legal aid. 2. Understanding your eligibility. 3. The types of services offered. 4. How and where to apply. 5. Common roadblocks and solutions. And finally, 6. Additional resources and tips.
Okay, let's jump straight into Section 1, Intro to New Jersey Legal Aid. So the absolutely crucial thing to understand right off the bat is the difference between civil and criminal aid. Civil legal aid is totally distinct from the criminal public defender system. If you're facing criminal charges, the New Jersey Office of the Public Defender is who handles that. Civil legal aid, that deals with your pressing, non-criminal survival issues. We're talking about the things that affect your daily life, your housing, your family structure, and your financial stability.
To actually navigate the New Jersey court system for these civil matters, the state uses a massive network coordinated by Legal Services of New Jersey, or LSNJ for short. You can kind of think of LSNJ as the ultimate centralized diagnostic clearinghouse. They're the big umbrella organization that evaluates your situation and routes you to the lawyers who can actually stand by your side in court.
Moving right along to Section 2, Understanding your eligibility. Okay, so how do you actually qualify for this help? Well, eligibility is strictly means-tested, and they use what's called the Federal Poverty Guidelines, or FPG. To put that into perspective, imagine a family of 4. To qualify for standard representation, their annual income has to fall below the 125% FPG cutoff, which right now sits at $41,250. For a 2-person household, you'd need to be under $27,050. So, these aren't just abstract numbers floating around. These are the strict, hard financial ceilings that intake workers are looking at when you apply.
Now, you might be wondering, why are there 2 different percentages? Well, it all comes down to funding. Programs that use federal money from the Legal Services Corporation, or LSC, are legally capped. They can only serve individuals at or below 125% of the poverty line. But here's the good news. Because New Jersey also taps into state and local funding streams, those regional affiliates can often stretch their services to households making up to 200 or even 250% in certain specific counties. Oh, and a quick pro tip, if you're a senior citizen age 60 or older, you can often bypass these strict income and asset caps entirely through dedicated senior citizen advocate centers.
All right, let's dive into Section 3, Types of Services Offered.
So now that we've got the financial stuff out of the way, what kind of legal emergencies are these lawyers actually going to help you fight? Well, they heavily focus on protecting your basic human needs. In fact, the highest volume practice area across the whole state is housing and eviction defense. I mean, just imagine the massive relief of having a lawyer step in to keep a roof over your family's head when you're facing a sudden eviction. It's a real game changer. They also aggressively handle domestic violence restraining orders, family law like child custody disputes, and appeals when vital public benefits like SNAP or SSI are wrongfully denied. They even help out with consumer debt, bankruptcy, and criminal record expungements to help get people back on their feet.
But equally important is knowing what is not covered, just to save you some time and frustration. Seriously, do not call these civil legal aid hotlines for criminal matters, traffic tickets, parking violations, or DUIs. They simply can't help you there. Also, thanks to federal regulations, they generally cannot take on what are called fee-generating lawsuits. Think personal injury cases like a car accident where a private lawyer would normally just take a cut of your settlement winnings.
Okay, moving right on to Section 4, How and Where to Apply. This is the super practical blueprint part of our explainer. How do you actually get your foot in the door? It all happens through a centralized intake protocol. Step 1. You contact the statewide LSNJ Law Hotline or fill out their online intake form. Step 2. An intake worker does a screening of your income, assets, and the basic facts of your case. And finally, Step 3. If you need extended representation in court, you get routed directly to a regional nonprofit affiliate that covers your specific county.
And I want to make this hotline number absolutely impossible to miss. It's 1-888-576-5529. Again, that's the LSNJ Law Hotline. They're open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. And hey, don't worry about any language barriers at all. They've got support in all languages and dedicated systems for the hearing impaired, too.
So, once you pass that initial screening, your case gets handed off to one of 5 main regional affiliates. Basically, the state is carved up geographically. So let's say you live in Union County. You're going to be routed to Central Jersey Legal Services. If you're up in Essex County, you'll be working with Essex-Newark Legal Services. These local regional offices are the actual folks on the ground who will provide your local litigation support.
Next up is Section 5, Common Roadblocks and Solutions. It's absolutely essential to ground ourselves in the reality of this system because it does have limitations. To understand these roadblocks, we're pulling from a really comprehensive report by the Brennan Center for Justice. This report impartially breaks down the severe systemic hurdles that restrict how federally funded legal aid can actually operate, limitations that literally stem from congressional mandates passed way back in the mid-1990s.
The most obvious roadblock here? It's pure capacity. The report highlights a pretty sobering statistic. 80% of the civil legal needs of low-income people go completely unmet. Because of funding shortages, 1 million cases are turned away nationwide every single year. The demand just vastly outpaces the supply of available attorneys, which creates what experts refer to as a massive justice gap.
But beyond just the funding issues, there are strict legal roadblocks for programs taking federal LSC money. These federally funded lawyers are straight up banned from filing class action lawsuits. They're banned from claiming attorney's fees even when they win. They're banned from representing certain undocumented immigrants, and banned from assisting prisoners dealing with re-entry matters. And what's really wild and super challenging for state planners is this poison pill restriction. Get this. If an organization takes even $1 single of federal LSC money, those bans apply to all of their funds, even the money given by the state or private donors. Because of this, states actually have to go out and create entirely separate, duplicative legal aid organizations just to do the work the federal government restricts.
Which brings us perfectly to our final section, Section 6, Additional Resources and Tips.
Because of those roadblocks we just talked about, you might actually find yourself turned away from standard LSNJ representation. If that happens, you need a backup plan, and here is your lifeline. These specialized pro bono resources have successfully guided thousands of New Jerseyans to favorable outcomes, proving that persistence really does pay off. If you have a disability, organizations like Disability Rights New Jersey or the Community Health Law Project offer incredible specialized advocacy. Dealing with a domestic violence issue, Partners for Women in Justice is a dedicated resource for you. And if you maybe make a little too much money to qualify for standard aid but you still can't afford a private lawyer, Volunteer Lawyers for Justice, or VLJ, operates an amazing sliding scale fee program for households earning up to 400% of the poverty line.
And I've got a highly practical tip for you before you pick up that phone. Preparation is literally everything. Before you call any hotline, physically gather all your documents. I'm talking your court summonses, your eviction notices, and solid proof of your household income and assets. Have them right in front of you. Intake workers need these exact details immediately to process your application, and having the whole shebang ready ensures you don't get stuck in some administrative limbo.
As we wrap things up today, I do need to provide our mandatory legal disclaimer. This explainer is for informational purposes only and does not constitute legal advice. Please consult with a qualified legal professional for specific legal concerns. Our goal today was simply to map out the system for you. But I really want to leave you with this final provocative thought. We learned today that 80% of civil legal needs for low-income individuals just go unmet. With such a massive justice gap right in our own backyards, how can we better bridge this divide in our communities to ensure that equal protection under the law is a reality for everyone, and not just for those who can afford it? Think about that for a second. Share this explainer with someone who might really need it, and keep learning.